Hey everybody, happy Red Friday and welcome to another episode of Red Friday Reviews this Friday the 13th. The strain we're going to be going over today is by Retro Haze, Lemon Haze. This is a sativa dominant strain, and before I get into that, I'm going to give a good review because I really like this flower. I like this company. They also have another strain, Jack Hare, that they do. I really like that one as well. I'm going to maybe do a review on that down the road, but what I'm going to do today is Lemon Haze. And before we get started, I'm just going to try and put out a little bit of education or knowledge to maybe some of the people watching, because there seems to be a little bit of a divide between some of the terminology and how it can be used or what you're looking for. So some of the terms, for example, when you're looking for flower, I mean, you can be looking for any product, these will apply, but when you're looking for flower, sativa, indica, and hybrid, they're very important. So you have sativas at one end of the spectrum, and you don't have too many plants that are 100% sativa anymore, but you have stuff that's more sativa dominant. But one end of the spectrum, you have 100% sativa. At the other end of the spectrum, you have 100% indica. And in the middle, that's where your hybrid is. And then the closer you get to one or the other, maybe it's more sativa dominant, maybe it's more indica dominant. So these are very important because your indica plants, now I won't get into why they're important for growers. I'm going to get more important to why they're important for patients. So for a patient, if you're looking to treat, say, anxiety, mild pain, that kind of thing, you're really stressed, you just want to unwind and relax, then you're looking for more of an indica dominant strain, as close to that as you can. The more you get closer to the sativa, that's not going to, if you already have anxiety and you have a sativa dominant, you might end up worsening your symptoms. It might make you more jittery because sativa is more of an uplifting, whereas indica is more like in the couch. Not always, but for the most part, rule of thumb, sativa is usually uplifting. Indica is usually in the couch, which means down, couch lock, relax. You're happy, maybe you're awake, but you're not moving too fast. Great for like watching TV, that kind of thing, or just sitting and chatting and hanging out and, relaxing. Sativas, if you're going to do any kind of writing or yard work, or, you're trying to battle depression, or you're trying to get motivated, you're trying to get creative, that kind of thing. Sativas are excellent. They're really, really good. We're coming into what I call sativa season right now. We're coming into the fall and winter months. The daylight hours are getting less and less. It tends to slow people down. You don't get as much motivation with, not as much sunlight or daylight hours. So sativas are fantastic. They're great for, kind of motivating and getting you out there. And that's exactly what this Lemon Haze does. It's a fantastic sativa dominant hybrid. It's good for, like I said, uplifting, euphoric, creative, happy effects. If you have to get out in the yard, you've been trying to get a start on a project around the house, it's a fantastic strain for doing that. So what this strain is, and as I'm kind of going through explaining it, even before I show you a flower, because I will get into that, I'm going to get into the terpenes and stuff. I'm just trying to break a little bit down and give you some information. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to be able to have access, but it's even better to know how to use it. So this is a sativa dominant strain. The parents, so the mother was Lemon OG, and the father was Silver Haze. So when you see that written, it'll be Lemon OG, an X, and then you'll see Silver Haze. And this Silver Haze actually has a BX at the end of it. If you look this up, Mendo has some fantastic write-ups. It's one of the things I love and I always look for as a patient. I want lots of information. Some people don't want it. If, that's fine. You don't have to read it. But the people that are looking for information, it is fantastic. So this company even goes into the lineage of what they used and what they crossed. So if you look into that, you'll see a cross of Lemon OG, Silver Haze, BX. And what the BX is back crossing. So when you cross your mom, which is your Lemon OG, with your father, which is the Silver Haze, and then you take one of the offspring and you cross it back with one of the parents, that is a back cross. And what that is used for is to lock in desirable traits. Usually the breeder is trying to make sure that this, whatever it is he's looking for, it could be growth of the plant, it could be cannabinoid, it could be whatever. They want that to be, make sure that that is carried on through the lineage. It's very, very important. Excuse me. So that's what a back cross is. Something else, this is a fun fact, and lots of people don't know this, even people that have been growing for a long time. When you see those strain names, so what happens is when a strain, sorry, I say I'm going to jump back and forth between strain and cultivar. I apologize. I'm still getting used to the new terminology. But when you see those cultivars, so like the Lemon OG, and it's crossed with the Silver Haze, you know that the Lemon OG is the mom because it's the first one written. Then it's crossed with the father. So, you know, when wedding cards are written or signed, it's usually the wife's name that's first and then the husband's, right? So if you can think of that, it's the same idea or concept when breeders are writing down what the crosses are, because they don't always want to make up a fun name. Sometimes you're just trying to cross and you're trying to get to a certain point, and then when you have your finished product that you were trying to create, then you'll lock in a name, that kind of thing. So the genetics are very important. I've met a few patients. They're very much looking for the lineage, looking for originals, looking for what's in it, because they're starting to pick out either terpenes or effects or names of cultivars that mean something, because they find that 9 times out of 10, when I use this strain, I get the effect I want. So then you start searching that out, because sometimes, even though it's not the main cultivar or strain, it's in there, so you have a similar effect. So now what's happening, there's a ton of research into terpenes, and I'll talk about the terpenes, some of the terpenes that are in the Lemon Haze. And terpenes are so important because they're discovering that terpenes are enhancing the effect by allowing the THC and the CBD, the cannabinoids, whatever cannabinoid you're treating with, to absorb better into the blood. So you're getting more concentration of the cannabinoid getting in, because the terpenes are acting like a bridge and helping it absorb and get a better effect or a stronger effect. So when you're seeing terpene profiles and you're seeing percentages and stuff, and why that's becoming important is because the more terpenes that are in there, the better effect you're going to get out of the plant. You're going to get something closer to the entourage effect, which is all the little cannabinoids working together, not just taking the THC out. They're meant to work together. So the terpenes are really important because it allows the medicine to work better. You get a better effect. That's when you get a nice smell. When you smell a cannabis flower and there's not much smell to it, most of the terpenes, because of maybe poor harvest, transportation, whatever, they bust it off or evaporate it off. They're very, very delicate. So some of the terpenes in this Lemon Haze are caryophyllene. That's kind of your black pepper, your basil, your oregano. You also have limonene, which is your citrus, like a lemon. You'll also have linalool, which is like lavender. That's your lavender smell. And you'll have myrcene, which is your earthy, musky, kind of like cloves smell. So those are some of the profiles that you smell in there. And while we're talking about that, oh, that's incredible. You do smell a blend. So when you hear people say undertones, like, you have a dominant smell. So when you open something, you smell something citrusy, but then as you smell a little longer or you break it open, you might get the musky undertone, or you might get more of an OG or a pepper smell, earthy, that kind of thing. So here's the nugs straight out of the package there. They're beautiful to look at aesthetically. You know, as somebody with a growing background, these are very nice. They look like they were very well cultivated. Lots of care was taken in trimming. You can see there's not a lot of leaves, and a machine wouldn't kind of trim this as nicely. You get people in there hand trimming, you get a much nicer finished product. So when you medicate with this, when you consume the Lemon Haze, you're going to get a very uplifting, euphoric, creative, motivating effect. The effects come on fairly quickly. They come on a little light in the beginning and then really start to take effect. The good idea bus comes and you start thinking of what you want to do and the things you didn't do. And before you know it, you're doing a lot of the things that you haven't been able to do for maybe the past few days. I will say this: keep water handy. Most sativas do tend, not all, most tend to give you a bit of dry mouth. Just keep water handy, that kind of thing. Aside from that, I never experienced any really negative adverse. And I hate to say side effects, but unpleasurable or undesirable effects, besides maybe a little bit of cotton mouth, that kind of thing. But like I said, this is fantastic for doing stuff around the house, cleaning out the garage, getting some chores done, being motivated into maybe you're going to write something, maybe you're going to build something. This is an excellent strain. I can't say enough. So Retro Haze, if you look on the Mendo menu, look them up. They'll have other strains, like I said, Jack Hare. That's a fantastic sativa dominant strain as well, and it's one of my favorites. They've done an excellent job with this. So as I was saying, lots and lots of research. Back to the terpenes for a second here. So for example, a lavender plant has terpenes. They're the same whether it's a cannabis plant, a lavender plant, whatever. It's a terpene is a terpene. The thing is, and the amazing thing, and to show you how complex cannabis is lavender will have one terpene. It'll have, you know what I mean? It'll smell like lavender. So that's your linalool. And then you have the same terpene in cannabis. However, cannabis can have anywhere from 300 to 400 terpenes in different combinations. So now you can see why it's so complex. You have cannabinoids, you know, that's your THC and your CBD, and then you have terpenes, and you have, you know, you have your flavonoids. That's what you taste. Those are all these things work in a conjunction. And now that legalization, and there's more interest, and it's just a booming industry. There's so many passionate, caring people that want to use this and progress as medicine for many different things. There's such an opportunity now to start research and development and to start doing the things that weren't able to be done 20 years ago. Mind you, a lot of these growers that are now craft growers or maybe working in the commercial industry, they were the footprint, they were the foundation. They were doing a lot of this, but very quietly. I mean, you know, you had some people maybe grew a plant in their garage and you didn't give it much attention. But some people, like myself, I used to measure how much it would grow in a certain amount of time. You know, what your bud density was. You know, you certain terpene profiles at week one. What nutrients did you like? There's so much that you can do to this plant to have it manipulate or to have a different outcome that you can manipulate through growing an environment, that you can make all these plants, you know what I mean, unique and different, and start tailoring them towards whatever you're trying to treat, you know, whatever it is you're trying to breed that plant for. I should probably stop myself there because I will go down a rabbit hole that maybe we don't want to go to. But I find this stuff absolutely fascinating. And what I want to do each week, along with reviewing a strain, is to talk a little bit about some of the, you know, community, or maybe, you know, the strain lineage or terminology or methodology. You know, I can go into a bit of, you know, a lot of people want to know, how is my cannabis produced? Well, that's the whole thing on itself. There's so many ways to cultivate. And then some people want to know, how is it turned into, say, a bath bomb like Stuart Farms does? How's that happen? So there's so many different things. And I mean, the more you know about your medicine, the better you're going to be able to apply it and the better effect you're going to get. Your whole life shouldn't be about your medicine. You know, you want the information you need to be able to take it away, do what you need to do, and go back to what it is that this injury or illness or whatever was slowing you down from doing. So at the end of the day, I hope you're getting something, and I hope you're liking my videos. I'm going to keep them coming. If you have any suggestions of things that you want to hear or would like me to talk about, and I will work on the animations. I'll try and do a little better job editing. Pretty new at this kind of stuff, but I hope you all found this entertaining. I hope you have a great Friday, the rest of your Friday, and I hope you have a happy long weekend, or just have a happy